Good to have you back right here on ET Now. You're watching Market Cafe, and we still have Mr. Hemant Luthra with us on the show from Mahindra CIE. Mr. Luthra, are you able to hear me clearly, sir? I'm very sorry about the inconvenience being caused.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so basically,
I can hear you now. Thanks.
Perfect. So what essentially we were trying to ask you is that why is it that barring the PV segment, every other segments have seen such strong growth? What is it that is, creating a headwind for this particular segment? Why is it that it has actually, on the contrary, seen a degrowth this time around as well?
No, I don't know, see where you're seeing the degrowth in PV segment. We have growth with Maruti. We have growth with the other parts of companies. The only thing that you probably don't see is that Maruti constitutes something like 10 to 12% of our total sales. And the other sales have grown strongly. Maruti also does. And our whole strategy going forward is to improve the even our M&A strategy is to see if we can find companies that have got a greater relationship with Maruti. But I think we are really quibbling about small numbers, because if we have been able to post an India growth, serial growth of 16% quarter on quarter and a 24% growth on year, I'm not sure whether I need to be defensive about not being able to do more with Maruti.
Essentially going by the numbers given in the investor presentation. So you just mentioned that Maruti continues to be one of your biggest clients, and of course M&M as well, which dominate, and these two companies also are very dominant in the UV segment. If you could give us a sense of what's the demand uptick that you're witnessing in the UV space, because not just Mahindra and Mahindra, but even Maruti now is scaling up in a big way. So what is the kind of demand uptick that you've seen, and how much are these two clients alone contributing to your overall UV segment?
See, Maruti contributes about 10%, okay, or 12% of our sales. And Mahindra's sales have, while they may have grown, it's a function of which products we are supplying to. Some of the products that we are supplying to go into the Bolero, some go into some of the other new launches which may not have been as successful as Mahindra may have wanted to. But all told, each of these businesses with us, we have grown, and we've continued to find new customers. We continue to grow them both directly and indirectly, because you also need to look at what are the sales through Billforge. And if Billforge has grown 36% year on year and 12% serially, some of the sales are also going from indirectly from Billforge into tier 2 suppliers who are tier 1 suppliers who then supply to Maruti and Mahindra.
Earlier on in the interview, you'd also mentioned that a large part of the revenue comes from the European markets. How is the performance in the quarter gone by, and have you seen an improvement in the export content in your revenue basket?
We've seen an export content in the revenue basket. Billforge has continued to grow, and it's at the top line, and its exports from India continue to be about 20%. The exports from the rest of Mahindra CIE from India continue at about 10 to 12%. The growth in tractors, growth in gears has been very strong, because we have got Caterpillar and others as customers who, instead of sourcing from Italy, are sourcing from India. But if you look at the growth that has happened in Europe alone, okay, Europe is doing a run rate of about 11 billion rupees per quarter, or 1150 crore rupees per quarter. And the quarter on quarter growth has been 19% serial quarter, and Europe has grown at 26%. So we're very happy with the growth in Europe too.
Right. So just also wanted to get a sense of what is happening in the EV space. Have you been approached by any of the OEMs to develop certain components specific to EVs?
See, I just want you to understand one thing, which is that Mahindra itself has said that we are going to do 500 cars per month. If they do in EV, that'd be very nice. Tesla has had production problems in their S3, but yes, CIE supplies components to Tesla. Okay, I think the EV space, I think there's more enthusiasm which has not yet started to reflect on the bottom line. I don't think the EVs are going to constitute a significant portion of the cars that are sold, and therefore EVs are not going to contribute a significant portion of our total demand for the coming year. Having said that, because only 19% of our total production goes into the internal combustion engine, and we are neutral whether it is petrol or diesel, okay, we are ready for EV too, because EVs are going to use composites, EVs are going to use sheet metal, EVs are going to use forgings and castings. And when in our strategy we are looking forward to is we are going to focus on stuff that tomorrow will be useful, but I'm not sure how much of a difference EV demand today is going to make a difference to our bottom line. So our mergers and acquisition strategy will be, can we find something in aluminum, can we find something in plastics, can we find something in composites, so that we continue to defend our turf, so to speak, if a migration to EVs happen.
All right, sir. Thanks a lot. I think we'll leave it at that. Would have liked to chat more with you about the prospects that lie ahead for the company, but we're running a bit short of time. But really appreciate you being so patient and giving us your time and talking to us about what transpired in the quarter gone by. All right, so since we're completely out of time, we'll have to wrap it up on this edition of Market.